Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text 7, page 74. Karpanya Doshapahata Svabhavaha Prijhami Tvam Dharma Samurdhachitaham Yachriyaha Syan Nishchitam Brohi Tan Me Sishyas Teham Sadhi Mam Tvam Prapannam Karpanya Doshapahata Svabhavaha Karpanya Doshapahata Svabhavaha Prijhami Tvam Dharma Samurdhachetaham Yachreyasya Nishitam Bruhitam Me Sisyastiham Sadhimam Tvam Prapannam Karpanya Doshapahata Svabhavaha Prijhami Tvam Dharma Samurdhachetaham Yachreyasya Nishitam Bruhitam Me Sisyastiham Sadhimam Tvam Prapannam Karpanya Doshapahata Svabhavaha Prijhami Tvam Dharma Samurdhachetaham Yachreyasya Nishitam Bruhitam Me Sisyastiham Sadhimam Tvam Prapannam
Karpanya Doshapahata Svabhavaha Prijhami Tvam Dharma Samurdhachetaham Yachreyasya Nishitam Bruhitam Me Shishaste Aham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam
Karpanya dosha pahata svabhavaha Prijhami tvam dharma samurdhachetaham Yachreyasya nishitam bruhitam Me Sishastam teham sadhimam tvam prapannam
Karpanya Doshapahata Svabhavaha Prijhami Tvam Dharma Samurdhachetaham Yachreyasya Nishitam Bruhitam Me Sisyastiham Sadhimam Tvam Prapannam
Karpanya of miserliness Dosha by the weakness Upahatam being afflicted Swabhavaha characteristics Prichami, I'm asking. Tvam, unto you. Dharma, religion. Samurdha, bewildered. Chittaham, in heart. Yat, what? Sriyaha, all good. Syat, maybe. Nishchitam, confident. Bruhi, tell. Tat, that. Me, unto me. Sisyaha, disciple. Te, your. Aham, I am. Sadhi, just instruct. Mom, me. Tvam, unto you. Prapannam, surrender. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Once again, translation. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Purport. By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom, therefore, advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. Who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 3.8.10, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yavaitat aksharam gargi aviditvasmal lokat praiti sakripanaha. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. This human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is the Brahmana, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Yaitat aksharam gargi viditvasma lokat praiti sad brahmana. The Kripanas, or miserly persons, waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. in the material conception of life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members, on the basis of skin disease. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious, and now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously because and now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master on the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishnas within and without, and one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnitam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manoishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Karamanyam Dadati Swapadatikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Dhamma Sri Guru Vaishnavascha Sri Rupam Sarvatam Sahaganam Sadhvaitam Sadhvaitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaganam Krishna Paramasidho Dinamanu Jagadvati Goveshwara Gavadha Sri Tata Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vishwari Vrishabhanusudevi Pranamami Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Vedanta Krishna Saivara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Raised up hands mark our surrendering. So when we chant the holy names, we raise up our hands. So hopefully Krishna pays some attention to our pursuits to chant the holy name. Just 1 hour ago, I was a little bit far from Ramanreti, and in order to be in time for the class, I had to ask one Vrajavasi to drop me on his motorcycle. So, yes, when I, got up on the motorcycle, and he started to move along, between the rickshaws and cars and other motorcycles. So I immediately found myself in a situation, quite similar to Arjuna's situation, actually, because Indian roads also remind me about the battlefields. Sometimes, they're real battlefields. So, and looks like all the way from Loy Bazaar to here was a kind of purport on this verse for me, because immediately my religious fever arose and I started chanting the holy name very sincerely. So sometimes such circumstances are required to make us more sincere, more serious. So, and somehow or other get here with no problems, but the situation was really serious because the motorcyclist, he was like twisting, you know, between the cars, and you know, it was a dangerous ride. So same way, Arjuna was facing his relatives from another side, and the battle was about to begin. And we can only imagine how excited Arjuna was. And we can only imagine his feelings. And it says that Krishna, what he did, he purposefully put the chariot not very far from Arjuna's relatives, such as grandfather Bhishma and others. So Arjuna could see all his relatives, and because that was that set the scene basically for Bhagavad Gita, because Arjuna found it impossible to fight with his relatives, although this battle was completely righteous, was completely bona fide, authorized from the scriptural viewpoint, because everything was done to settle the dispute between Pandavas and Kauravas in a peaceful way, but all the efforts were useless. Yes, and we see that this verse is crucially important in Bhagavad Gita, because here Arjuna finally surrenders. He's out of his arguments. Although Arjuna knows a lot of scriptures, he knows the laws of Dharma, he knows Rajniti, he knows this, he knows that, but he found all this knowledge useless, and finally in this verse he surrenders to Krishna as his disciple. And basically we can trace out how one starts one's religious life. We can trace out that the start of anyone's religious life is when one understands that oneself, one cannot solve one's problems. So man is basically helpless in front of his or her karma, man or woman, whatever. So we find ourselves helpless in front of the circumstances we are in. Like here in Vrindavan, if you just walk along the street, you will see many beggars. So they're trying to get something from you, whatever, 10 rupees, a few rupees, chadar, tea. And many people don't like them begging, especially when they're really pushy. But when they go to the temple, when they are in the temple room, standing before the deities, what are they doing? The majority of them? Begging, yes, because why, that was my question, I was a bit irritated by the beggars here in Vrindavan, but one day it dawned on me that Vrindavan is a big school of begging. So we are here actually to learn how to beg. Yes, how to beg, and what should we ask from Srimati Radharani and her beloved Shyam Sundara. So, and those people who don't realize this, that Vrindavan is a big begging academy, basically, well, they're getting irritated. Well, but when they stand before the deities, they're also begging. Well, the point is only to choose a supposed sponsor. Like beggars, when they look at us, white-skinned guys, they think, okay, here is Angreji is coming. Probably his wallet is thick with money, filled up with money. So let me try. Maybe it works. So same way when the living entity realizes that he cannot basically solve his own problems himself. Well, we can quote many examples of this, like a toothache. Even if you are a dentist, still in the majority of cases you would require the help of another dentist to solve your own tooth problem, basically. And so we need so many other people's service to solve our problems. Like when electricity goes away, we either need a power backup, someone starting the generator, or we need a power station. Power station means the power station staff working there, supporting the power station, making it work sometime. So we're hopeless, not hopeless, helpless in front of our own karma, our own needs and desires. We're dependent upon so many people, and as the consciousness of the human progresses from the lowest types of consciousness, such as Chandala's consciousness or Shudra consciousness, like in the Varnashram system, basically progresses from the Shudra consciousness when one is just capable to deal with the dead matter in form of tools or digging earth, constructing buildings, and just a little bit with the other living entities. And as the capacity of the human to take care for the other living entities increases, he progresses from Shudra to Vaishya, then from Vaishya to Kshatriya, and then finally from Kshatriya to Brahmana. And here in this purport, Prabhupada also brings it up, who is the real Brahmana, who is the really intelligent man capable to solve his own problems of life with Krishna's help. Yes, so Vrindavan is a big begging ground, and either we are begging from Krishna or Radharani, or others beg from us. So somehow or other, sometimes we are in one position or in another. Sometimes we're capable to give something to others, and this is very good. Whenever we can distribute prasad, whenever we can serve the cows, especially abandoned, homeless cows, it's very good for us, for both material and spiritual life of ours. So religious life starts with understanding that actually only some supreme power, which I cannot see, but which acts invisibly on the background of the material world. Okay, there is a supreme power, some supreme authority, and this supreme authority is called God, and he should be approached if I want to solve my problems. So people attending temples and praying to the deities, like I heard that one of the deities of Vrindavan, like Banki Bihari, you can go there, and if you manage to look at his eyes and meditate on your desire, so then your desire will be fulfilled. So this is why so many people are eager to go there and look at his eyes. This is what I heard. You correct me if I'm wrong. Somehow or other, in this process of begging, the living entity realizes that if he wants his desires to be fulfilled, some transformation is required. Because religious process inevitably involves transformation of consciousness, external transformation, internal transformation, and okay, if I want, like sometimes people make promises to the deities. Okay, my lord, you give me this, and I do this. in response. Yes. Okay. If you help me to pass through the exams, I promise I quit smoking. Okay. So got it. Please help me. Yeah. And so in this process, the living entity realizes that the transformation is required. And slowly, gradually, this process comes all the way up to the point of surrendering oneself to the Lord. So on the lowest stage, we just want, okay, let's put it like this, I just want my desires to be fulfilled. But those who are on the higher stages, they realize that if they want to be happy, they should somehow or other make the Lord happy by fulfilling the Lord's desires. And to come to this point, it takes a situation similar to Arjuna's situation. Basically, all of us sooner or later will realize, or maybe have already realized, that we ourselves can only perplex our problems by trying to solve them on the material platform. And from this point, the practical steps towards surrendering the Lord start. So that's so the religious process means transformation, and transformation always transformation always takes some pain, some crisis to happen. Like if we take any saint's life, for example, Jesus Christ, Lord Buddha, many others, somehow or other, transformation for them meant something serious happened in life, some crisis, there was a crucial point of where the transformation began. Like we remember Lord Buddha saw the miseries of life. His father tried his best to keep his child away from the miseries of life, such as birth, death, old age, and disease. But somehow or other, Lord Buddha saw that, I don't remember the details, somehow or other, if I remember correctly, demigods showed him. Yes, who knows the story about Lord Buddha? Somehow or other, demigods, if I remember correctly, showed him the four miseries of life, and immediately renunciation arose in Lord Buddha, and that was the start of his transformation. And if we take, for example, any other saint, somehow or other there was a crisis involved in the transformation of their lives. So the same thing is happening here to Arjuna. So Prabhupada is writing in his purport, "Who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life." So when people don't understand the real problems of life, they perplex their material existence by trying to adjust the world around them, that the world fits better for their enjoyment. But the world, very, very soon, by the end of their lives, they find out that the world is not adjustable, and the only thing they can adjust is themselves. But somehow or other, it's allowed for us to try, give it a try, to adjust the world around us, try. And although some people may be more capable, like they may be good managers, good businessmen, good politicians, still, they can do very little work for the transformation of this world. But the world goes on in its own way. Doesn't matter how much efforts the politicians, businessmen, educationists, and others put into making this world better. So this is how it works. So one who does not understand the problems of life, and as Srila Prabhupada points out in his other reports, the problems of life are birth, death, old age, and diseases. So these are the four main problems of life. Then he quotes the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human, and who thus quiz this world like the cats and dogs, meaning basically in animal consciousness, without understanding the science of self-realization, haven't not understood that he is a spirit soul, is not this body. But there is much more in the science of self-realization, of course, but this is the first step, as we know. This human form of life is the most valuable asset for the living entity, who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is the Brahmana, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. So Brahmana is the one who somehow or other realizes that he is a spirit soul, meaning some higher being distinguished from the mortal frame he is in. And as the Brahmana understands the nature of himself, of his true self as a spirit soul, his understanding of the Supreme Spirit, namely God, the Supreme Lord, also grows up, if the Brahmana is not a Maya body, of course. But and we can see that the position of Brahmanas is very exalted, not only because of the caste consciousness of the traditions. Like in India, still there are some traditions. Many people are still accustomed to pay respect to Pandits, Brahmanas, etc. And it's not solely about following the traditions, but Brahmanas are really capable to solve everyone's problem. They are as capable as they're pure, as their consciousness is closer to God. And to be closer to God, one needs to know the Vedic literatures and practice the Vedic literatures also. And the real Brahmana, if you look on him from the outside, he's a kind of how to say that, lazy fellow, a little bit. He may look like a little bit lazy fella in comparison to the Kshatriyas and others, but Prabhupada stressed out that the Brahmana must have a lazy intelligence. Lazy intelligence. Lazy intelligence means intelligence which is not so active in the material field. Like Kshatriyas and other Varnas capable to operate with matter, they don't have lazy intelligence, because if you look on such a person, his mind is always busy trying to make adjustments. Okay, here I buy, here I sell, yes? This is where I get money, so I owe this person so much, so okay, here is my friend, he's coming soon from America, okay, so I need to arrange accommodation and food for him, it's like very active mind, yes? And Brahmana has a lazy intelligence in the sense that he always accepts everything which comes on its own accord as Krishna's mercy. Okay, 100 people are coming from America. Okay, Krishna's mercy. Well, somehow or other, Krishna arranges everything for his guests. So, but his mind is, his intelligence is lazy, also in the sense that it's always focused on one object only. You know, when the Brahmana is a Vaishnava, his intelligence is focused on Krishna, either directly on Krishna's form, if he is advanced enough in chanting the holy names, or indirectly in form of the Vedic instructions. Basically, even Karmakanda Pandits, even Karmakanda Brahmanas, if you look on their life, if you read about their life, their life is just you know, one vrata is finished, another vrata starts. You know, one yaga is finished, another yaga starts. Basically, their consciousness is always operates within the frame of the Vedic instructions or the Vedic literature. And although Brahmanas may not appear so capable materially, still other materially capable persons, they go to the Brahmanas in order to solve their problems. Like if someone has a son, so the son needs education, and originally the sons were sent to a Gurukula, to the school of a spiritual master. So and the spiritual master is a Brahmana. So what he does, he gives education to all other Varnas, using his knowledge of the Vedic literatures and experience in practicing the Vedic literatures. So without, if you take a Vedic tradition without the help of a guru, nothing is possible there. So basically you cannot understand Vedic literatures because you need to know Sanskrit, or even if you can read English books, you still need someone to explain you the Vedic literatures. Like Srila Prabhupada, his great contribution to the world is he explained everyone the original purport, the original, how to say that, import of the Vedic literatures, which is Krishna consciousness, the highest level of the Vedic wisdom. So without the help of a guru, it's impossible to progress in life. And not only in the Vedic culture, in the West we also see that we need so many gurus. We need someone to teach us how to play guitar. We need someone to teach us English or any other language. We need someone, even to get a good job, we need someone's help. We need the help of some authority, someone's having connections to introduce us to the right person who gives us a good job. So the position of Brahmana cannot be overestimated. And if the Brahmana is a Vaishnava, that's an ideal situation because his consciousness, in this case, his consciousness connected to God not only in an indirect way through the medium of the Vedic literatures, and we know that Vedic literatures it's a vast body of literature, so many books, many thousands of books. But if his consciousness is directly connected to Krishna, if he's a Vaishnava, if he knows the original aspect of the absolute truth, that's the best way. And such a Brahmana, if he is a realized Brahmana, he becomes a Vaishnava. And if he is a realized Vaishnava, he can be the spiritual master of the whole world, because he can give everyone the real way and the real solution of all the problems of the world. Here, as we see, Arjuna decides to surrender to Krishna, the original spiritual master of the universe. And he surrenders, and his mode of surrendering is described here. So basically, for a Kshatriya to recognize his weakness, so it's a big thing actually. When a Kshatriya recognizes that, okay, I cannot do anything basically, I have this weakness, I'm confused about my duty, and I lost all composure. So for a Kshatriya to say stuff like this, it's a big thing, because it means that the situation is really serious, and it's actually embarrassing for a Kshatriya to recognize his weakness. But here Arjuna recognizes his weakness, and he surrenders fully to Krishna, telling Krishna that I really cannot solve my problems myself, so you please instruct me. Okay, so we stop. And, please, comments or questions?
Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you were saying that one can elevate from Sudra to Vaishya, Vaishya to Kshatriya and then Brahman. You were saying that other day when Prabhuji was saying that we cannot elevate.
Which Prabhuji? Sorry.
What's the
It
question?
was the day before yesterday.
Okay.
We cannot elevate ourselves. We can serve from the wherever we are, but we cannot elevate ourselves from one level to another level. So I could not understand this.
Actually, there is no controversy here. Yes, I mean, no, we cannot elevate ourselves, but there are others who are authorities, like demigods and the Supreme Lord, who can examine our position, and the living entity gets his position. His position is arranged in how to say that, in accordance with his karma, good or bad, and basically his progress. What I was talking about is when one is capable, when one is capable to operate not only with the dead matter, but when one is capable to serve, to take care of other living entities as well, like animals and people. As his capacity increases, means his karma becomes better, and then life after life, one progresses. It's here I described the gradual system of progress within the Vedic Varnashram system. So, but themselves we cannot do it. Of course, it's only up to the Lord. So there is no controversy here. And as far as we are concerned, meaning the people who are already trying to practice the spiritual life, our main concern should be, of course, not our social position, not to make it better, but to become better devotees. Yes, that's for sure.
It was said at that time, sorry, it was said at that time, there is no need to transform yourself. There is no need to transform yourself from your position you are in. You be content in whatever position you are. It was discussed quite way before yesterday. This point was discussed very largely, and this is what was told. You don't need to do anything. You are a Vaishya, you will be happy in Vaishya, Kshatriya be happy, Kshatriya. This is what was told to us. But this mentioned.
Yes, there is no need for material transformation, basically. Usually there is no need.
There's definitely a need to transform one's attitude and one's mind. Because if you don't, then everything is for me and nothing for Krishna. Or maybe one for me and one for him. So our transformation has to be
Transformation
such
of
that
consciousness, yes.
everything for Krishna and nothing for me. But actually, when everything is for Krishna, then because you're his servant, then everything is yours also. Because he is yours and you are his. So that transformation is of your consciousness, of your heart. In the translation, it says miserly weakness of heart. Miserly means just thinking about my own needs, and I can't think of any greater needs. That's what it means, transformation.
Actually, my question is related to the same point. When we're going from the stage of being very desirous for material things to being desirous for Krishna, like wanting to please Krishna, in that middle time, how do we deal with material desires? Like, do we just can we still ask Krishna for that, or should we just put that on the back burner and keep trying to satisfy Krishna?
So when this transformation takes place, if we to make progress in our spiritual life, first of all we should divide our life on two big parts. So, in the first part, we have our desire to become pure devotees, basically, and the direct processes of the devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. And the second part is the necessary level of sense enjoyment we have to adopt in order to keep the composure, in order to keep our mind peaceful and senses peaceful too. Because if we don't do this, then basically we won't be able to practice our spiritual life. So this is actually the advice Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives to a practitioner of the spiritual life. So two parts. First, our desire, it's the main thing, of course. We want to become pure devotees. And second part is we should understand what level of sense enjoyment we need. What's the necessary level of sense enjoyment? And in that particular book, I guess it's, correct me if I'm wrong, Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita, if I remember correctly, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says one thing which Sripada Prabhu also repeated in one of his lectures. He was an emblem of renunciation, of austerity, Sripada Prabhu. But in that lecture he spoke one shocking thing. He said that without a sense enjoyment we will just die. Just imagine it's coming from the lips of Sripada Prabhu. It's it was a kind of shock for me personally. So you should look on your life and understand what level of sense enjoyment you need. Because sense enjoyment means like food, shelter, clothing. Do you need a family life? Do you need association with the opposite sex? Do you need children, etc.? So devotee adopts the standard of sense enjoyment necessary for him to keep with his spiritual practice. And oftentimes, in 90% of cases, it takes us to become a little bit more experienced, and at least for men, it takes us to become a little bit more adult to understand how to do this properly. So this is actually your work. Although we may consult spiritual authorities and we have to know Srila Prabhupada's opinion on this point, but still this is the practical thing we have to do. So we have to understand, okay, here's what I want. I want to become a pure devotee, and here is my present situation. Here is the standard of sense enjoyment I need now. Necessary sense enjoyment, not unnecessary, but necessary.
Is Krishna consciousness sense enjoyment? Krishna consciousness also sense enjoyment?
Is Krishna consciousness also sense enjoyment? Yes, definitely. It's it's not the material sense enjoyment. that's another point. But that's the supreme sense enjoyment.
God who is Krishna, and enjoy Krishna.
Yes. But the point is, Prabhuji, the point is, it's sad to say that, but oftentimes we find ourselves not completely, we find the scope of our desires not completely within the pure devotional standard. You understand this, yes? Because you have a family, basically such desires as to have a family, the association of the opposite sex, and children and have a good work, earning money, etc. It's not a devotional service. I mean, not a direct devotional service, but it can be, like Prabhupada puts it, dovetailed with the devotional service. Yeah.
When you become Krishna conscious,
When you become Krishna consciousness, it all turns into how to say that, endless happiness. Because Krishna can do things we cannot do. Like Krishna can eat 100 times a day, no problem, etc.
but will that be considered as a sense? Because you are in that mode of sense when you enjoy Krishna. That's what must be happening.
Materially, it will not be a sense enjoyment. From the material point of view, it will be a pure bhakti. But our senses will be definitely satisfied. Yes. Yeah. But it takes us some time to get there, and along the way, we have to consider the level of the necessary sense enjoyment we should adopt. Yeah. So that's the point. Like Prabhupada quotes a nice example considering sense enjoyment. He says sense enjoyment is like a salt, and everyone's taste is different. Someone can eat food without salt completely. Someone needs more salt. Someone needs more salt. Yeah. So and everyone is there to decide. But if we take too much salt, then it may create a health problem. So this is why sense enjoyment should be restricted to the necessary level. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.